Here we go. Final Bout 6. Reach for the summit.
What do you get when you mix one of the largest grassroots ran drift events in the USA, along with two OGs from Japan that have made their mark in almost every level of influence in the drift culture over the last 2 decades? You get Final Bout 6 featuring Kazuya Bai, aka Chunky Bai, and Michiro Takatori, both formerly D and D1 legends from their respective eras and still hold influence on the drift culture even up until this very day. Now, as you guys know, a couple of years back we went to Final Bout Gallery where the showroom cars made their way to the track, but when it comes to the mainline Final Bouts, the main focus is team tandem drifting, or just team drifting in general. Final Bout's approach to team drifting events are very special as they host 4 regional events in the USA, and respective teams from those respective events are invited to the mainline Final Bouts. Somehow during these pandemonium-filled events, they managed to bring over guest drivers, guest cars, guest teams, and just guests from all over that can pretty much make their way to Final Bout. Just like many guests before them, Bai and Takatori brought some of their personally built drift cars from Japan and sent over to the US, completing the holy trinity of the bout. You would think with the influx of drivers, spectators, guests, cars, and everything that happens with Final Bout, you would think that would be it. But you would be wrong. There's pre-meets, barbecues, meetups, community events that lead up to the actual Final Bout. And then there's even more stuff that actually happens at the event. And I'm gonna try my hardest to compact it all so it doesn't turn out to be like an hour-and-a-half video. So this time around, I'm actually gonna be leaving chapters down below so that way you guys can follow in whatever order you feel is necessary. So I guess at this point, there's only one thing left to say. Welcome to another video of Thrash, and we hope you guys enjoy this journey to Final Bout 6.
僕の名前は日本語でバイカズヤ。
BY じゃないよ。
BAY。BAI。まあ最初冗談かなと。またまあいつも結構あるからまた正直僕じゃなくても直樹とかもっと今現代走ってるコーラうまいコーラの方が一応オリジンだから直樹の方がいいんじゃないっていうのは正直言うたんですよ。ほんならそうじゃないっていうのを返答が返ってきたみたいで、それでいいんやったらいいけど、ただ僕が行って「誰?」ってって言われたら「誰?」って言われた時に迷惑かけないかなっていうのが正直ちょっとあったの。本当にね、ずっとアメリカ行ってないし、そんなんみんなね、僕 SNS も更新してないし、行って何になるやろうっていうのは、ほんでもう一人って言うから高取やなって言って、もうね黒井君とか一緒に走ったけどもういないしね、だからあと何人かアメリカ一緒にいたりとおるけど、みんな車がもうないんでね、ほんならショップやってて今現代でやってる人は高取、次はね順番は高取かなっていうので。
シンバから呼ばれた、なんかアメリカ来てくださいと、どういう感じだけど嬉しい。
俺あれやで、バイ君のおまけやから。そう。コンテナ2台乗るから。バイ君呼んだらついてきた。はい、
そうですか。
高取のは現代スタイル、エアロは現代、レーシングライン、ボディキットは現代で、でももう車庫端と仕様はもう昔のままだから、エンジンとミッションも全てタービンも全てもうあれは17年前に作ったまま。正直エンジン壊れるんちゃうかと思ったの。
エンジン
でも壊れなかった。一応そのコンピューターだけセッティングだけリセッティング、向こうの配役にするのに 一応濃く燃料してもらってんねん、うん、まず何をするかわからんかったから、いや初めは180持っていこうと思って
But the thing is, D1.
でもあれはあかんって言われいらんって言って
Don't need.
だから僕もまあほんまはそういう車ばっかりやと思ったんですよ。
はいは
だからああいう馬力の非力な車を持って行っても何も楽しくないやろうなと、
い。
YouTube 見るまではね。
はいは
ただシンバの車は分かったけどね、ベタベタで、
い。
でも言うてもね400、500馬力あるから、そんな非力の馬力持って行っても面白くないんちゃうって、何をするでもないにしても煙出えへんし、全然面白くないんちゃうとは思ったんやけどね、最初は。でもその YouTube 見てる間に、あ、これはひょっとしたらドルサップ、古い車後ろシートついて、
はいはい。
もうほんまに90年代
はいはい。
の仕様がいいんじゃないかなと思ってゴールドにしたの。昔ねストリートリーガルに出てた時の車の時の180のパーツが全部この車に行ってるから、足回りがメンバー、リアメンバー、ステアリングナックルから全部シルバーカーボンの、リバーサイドって貼った180のパーツが全部ついてる。だから昔の思い出がいっぱいついてる車。
I saw his video
Yeah.
with Team Tinker.
そうそうそうそう、とティンカーの時の車のパーツがついてる、
Ah, okay. So that car.
だから昔思い出がいっぱいある。だから黒井君にいっぱい作ってもらったパーツがあの車にいっぱいついてる。もう今ね亡き黒井君。
Okay, here at Stacks, we buy cars for people overseas that want cool stuff. We specialise in performance cars, GTRs, Skylines, Evos, Supras, all the cool stuff, and classic cars as well. It's a fun business. We love cars here. This is my Supra, 20-year effort to make this car. The heads have been ported and flowed. It's running Calford cams from New Zealand. This is a Eaton supercharger off a Ford SVT in America. And they've got a nickname called Heatin' because they just heat every fucking thing up. Hopefully if you start. Oh, today, yeah, we've sent some cool cars in a container to America. So the boys can go, Japanese drivers can go drifting in America and show them how it's done. Normally we don't load cars that low, so we had to figure out a way of getting them in a container. That worked out really well. And I didn't want the cars to move around in transit, and because the cars are really, really low, we couldn't use wire to tie them down. So we had to use the strap, want to make sure the cars get on there in one piece without damaging the aero.
So now Takatori's car and Bai's car is finally put in the container. I was going to say trailer since it's the usual. As you guys can tell, there's this huge cargo container that they go in, and they have to be put in with the care, you want to make sure your shit gets there in general, right? And make sure things don't get damaged on the way there. So everybody's taking their time to make sure things are going correctly, and it looks like everything went pretty smoothly because we got here in less than like 30-45 minutes. Everything was pretty much ready to go, and this is the start of the next journey, I guess. Final Bout is now about 2 months away, and we're gonna go head out with Bai and Takatori, so we'll be hanging out with them for the variety of the time that we're gonna be there. As the cars were tightly packed inside the container, the last checks on the cars were finally going through, which is when our transport would arrive, officially starting our journey to America. We were all pretty excited, not only to see these cars debuted at Final Bout, or going out to go see the homies, or the fact that we're just hanging out with these special guests the whole weekend, but this would be the first time we would actually go to Final Bout and enjoy the pre-events before the actual event, which I think now is as good a time as any to talk about what our schedule looked like throughout our time there. So for those of you who haven't been to a Final Bout or missed this one in particular, this is how the Final Bout schedule went. First, there is a general car meet, which is open to anybody, locals, competitors, spectators, or whatnot, to show off their cars, hang out a little bit before the showcase later that night, which will be featuring our special guests and a select group of cars that will be attending the event. And then there is a quick community meetup where everybody meets for lunch before the long voyage to U.S. Air, just north of Chicago in Shawana, Wisconsin. The following day is the first official day of Final Bout, with a car show where teams will be judged and scored and points will be tallied up over the duration of the weekend. Next, finally, we have drifting. That starts with open drifting that leads into team tandem competition into my favorite part of the day. The weekend, night drifting. And then on the final day of Final Bout, of course, we have a day of drifting that leads into a traditional tandem competition where one driver will be selected to represent each team and face off in 1v1 tandem battles. After the battles, it's pretty much just run until you're done or until US Air says go the fuck home. Yusuf would be the first one to leave to head out to California for merch and seats to provide for the booth at Final Bout, not to mention driving around Chicago as well and such and doing everything it is to get us to the track. So do me a solid and show some love in the comments because that is a long drive for anybody to commit to. After about 1 or 2 months, I would join him, later meeting with Final Bout frontrunner Simba, the pizza enthusiast himself, Hurt of Nappy Boy Automotive, and Adam, aka Understeer King, who would be assisting the Japanese drivers and myself in getting to wherever we need to be. Days would turn into weeks, and weeks would turn into months as our journey to America was right around the corner. The stage was finally set, and we were all prepared to see what Final Bout would have in store for us.
Final Bout stage selection. Choose your next location. Chicago. Loading complete. Day 1 starts.
Like, this is amazing, and I feel like there are more teams than there were last year. These teams are huge. There's a duck here. Sorry, you gotta skip me. Skip me. Oh, he's drifting. I think just this experience, it's different every time you're here. At regular drift days, I don't think you see as many teams driving together, and not only is it teams from across the world, but it's actual teams driving, and you don't just have individuals. Everybody's in sync with each other, and they all know each other, and you can be across the world and still meet up with everybody. And yeah, there are people from the East Coast, West Coast, and they're all just homies, and it's really great. I think Simba's car is great, and I think it's definitely faster than Hertz.
Finally, we've arrived to the showcase for all to see the reveal of Bai and Takatori-san's Japanese machines. One of the coolest moments that happened when we shortly got there was somebody approached Bai with an older magazine that featured Bai's very own gold coupe with 20-inch rims back in the day.
DD、懐かしい。こんなんあったんや。すげえ。すげえよこれ。
Bai said something along the lines that he liked to drift cars that didn't seem like they were supposed to drift, and this car was one of them, and he even signed the thing for him, which made things even cooler. And going by the size of the venue, of course Bai and Takatori's car weren't the only ones on display, as some of the winners from the respective regions were also here, like the winners of Special Stage Central, Proceed, East winners, Front Street Drift Club, and pulling a double duty this time around was Garage Abstract, as they were not only the winners of the Southern region, but also the defending champions from Final Bout 5. And I say almost every team because the only one that was not in attendance was the Northwest region winners, being So Icy Boys. Eventually, we took a stroll with Bai to look at some of the cars, and we were able to ask him about what he thought about Americans' approach to drift cars, since the last time he came to America was just under 20 years ago at D1 Irwindale.
でも全然違うよ。
Yeah, he's like totally different.
もうなんていうの、これって言ったらなんて言ったらいいんかな、JDM じゃないけどこんなんじゃなかったよ。こんなに車にお金かけてる人おらんかったよ。
So,
それがこんだけ綺麗な車
ちょっとびっくり。
だってあれから20年十何年経って、
はい。
もう車が減ってんねん。いや一旦もうなくなってんのになおかつあるからすごいね。
So,
だからこんだけ車がまだ大事に残ってて、なおかつエンジンもチェンジしてすごく綺麗。
みんな大事にする。
大事にしてる。
そう。
俺の中では20年まで止まってるから、YouTube では見てるけど、この目で見るのは初めてやから。
Yeah, he's seen all these cars like on YouTube and stuff, but now, 本物。
本物すごい。でもうショップがすごい。
Yeah, and everyone's shop.
ここもすごいけど、
Yeah.
日本負けるんじゃない。
He's like, Japan's losing. We're losing now.
ただまあチューニングの度合いはやっぱり日本の方が進んでると思うけど、それはでもやっぱり普通の人がこんだけできへんで。ではこの180とかな、昔の乗った仕様に似てるから。
So. But he's saying this one reminds him of his old orange 180. He's like,
昔乗ってたから、まあ、こういう仕様180で、なんせ180が好き。
そう、青のやつ？
そう。で、前黒やった。一番最初黒。モデル5。
そう、黒から青。
で、青からオレンジ。
その車一緒？同じ車？
一緒。で、白のエアロ、白からブルー。キャンディーブルー。ほんで、次からキャンディーレッド。
そう。
それで、クシャン。
そう。
ポリスに追われて、車掘った。
はい。でもボンネットまだ。
ボンネットある。
はい。
From Portugal, Switzerland. Yeah. What brings you Final Bout, man? We are supporting or looking Final Bout 6-7 years, I don't know, since we were like teenagers. And I think it's cool to see the same spirit, the same style, completely other place on the world. And it was always a dream to see these cars that you see maybe like on videos and shit. And also to meet the people, to talk how it is here. And it was a great opportunity to like visit the States once. Yeah. For me, Final Bout, man, it's like it's right here, man. And coming out to see such cool cars and meeting nice people and being around like this environment, for me, it's crazy, man. And that's what brings me here.
Every posse and crew out there, the future is before your eyes.
Oh, there you go. Here, I'll just pull over here.
Yeah, just let him.
Oh.
Sorry. I just fucked your whole video.
How dare you?
I'm sorry, man. That was rude as hell, man. I keep doing that too.
After a long wait from our journey from Japan to Chicago to Wisconsin, we had finally ended up at US Air. Even though this was the day before the first day of festivities, some of the teams had already began preparing, getting spots, and just, getting ready for the weekend. Like these guys, Car Shop Kuroshi and Team Psycho. Since this would be the first time our special guest would see the track, Simba decided to give him just like a little test lap in the rental to get an idea of what the track layout's like.
We're like, there's the wall, there it is. 見た YouTube で見た。
これがええな。
ジェットコースター。It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah. That's exactly.
ほんとこんな感じですね。
We call it roller coaster of love.
もう多分忘れてる。
That's the nickname.
こっちの方が面白そうや。こっちの方が面白い。
面白そうやけどデンジャラス。デンジャラス。
As we all suspected, the rental test lap wasn't going to be enough, so they ended up taking their own cars for a quick lap to see how the cars felt on the track and mainly to make sure everything is in working order from their voyage from overseas. So it looks like it's like a Senba's fuel pump feels blue, so that's why he stopped dripping like right as we came out that turn.
He said if they would have kept drifting, all would have been dead.
Dude, the first few seconds in this fucking car, it's hella loud, but it's like super smooth. Like it's pretty damn good.
I'll check it later. Do they want to do any more laps or are they done? I'm not going to.
What you said, I'm done.
Okay. 全然わかりませんでした。
Wait, was he dripping with that?
After the laps were all finished, we just headed back to the pits. Takatori started putting decals on his car while Bai was going off sneaking decals onto Simba's car. And at this moment, we kind of all got hit in our feels just seeing our, heroes or these legends, in their own element and just enjoying what they do, which is where Adam and Yusuf were almost taken aback, the fact that they were working with their heroes.
If anybody understands how weird this is, it's him. Like, me and him have that connection of just being children, straight up being kids and being at these events with them. And just being like...
It's like lacing up Michael Jordan's shoes.
Yeah, straight up, man, straight up.
Go ball, dog!
And he's just like, yeah, man, I got this. Like, riding with him, just that little bit, I'm just like, I don't know.
Is this happening right now?
It's like, what the fuck?
Seeing all three of you on track was amazing.
Like, because my very first video I ever got in 2002 was the street drift special with him and Utsumiya and Nanko. And just...
Yeah, when they're talking about grabbing the legs accidentally.
Yeah.
You got a downshift.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man, I watched that video every day after school. Like, I would invite my friends over and I'd watch it and they'd be like, dude, how many times are you going to watch this?
Is this again?
No. I love this. So yeah, this is a little strange. Yeah. Strange in the best way possible, where it's just like, yeah, I'm in this car and we're drifting and it's super chill and it's not like I'm like, hey man, can I ride with you? He's like, yeah, get in, let's go.
南高には絶対にもうスカートを履いてこないと乗せないっていうのがあったから。
Maybe I shouldn't translate that.
Please.
He said,
ね、だんだん短くなってきたもんね。
He's like, if I couldn't see into their skirt, like while they're sitting in my passenger seat, they're not riding in my car. So everyone's skirt got shorter and shorter and shorter.
We gotta put that clip in there with the clip with the grabbing.
Sansoku Nishoku kara?
Yeah.
OK。仕方ない。
Yeah, he had no choice. I got no choice. It just happened.
Here we are at Final Bout's first official day with the car show. The judges took a gander of the cars, scored them accordingly, and moved on to the next car, making for a relatively seamless day for the rest of us.
What's your perfect scorecard?
I've never given a perfect.
Sorry.
Just to be clear, I wouldn't give myself a 10 across the board either. It's hard to have a perfect drift car when you drive your car like you're supposed to. And it's just sometimes you got to focus on one thing more than the other, unless you're just a really, really rich person who can do it all the time. But I mean, like I said, my big focal points are wheel fitment, paint, and just overall vibe, I guess. Someone always comes through and surprises you. So somebody's gonna creep up with some hot shit.
Although the day was uneventful, it serves as a great time to appreciate the cars, teams, and people before US Air will be at its full volume the following day. Well, I guess actually the only eventful thing that happened was my drone getting thrusted into a tree thanks to a gust of wind.
Come on. You got it. Let's go! What was your name?
Scott, Beezer Media. Jason from VA. Hey.
Thanks to the homies here for helping me get my drone down, but unfortunately due to the impact coming from its stuck location rendered my drone of 7 to 8 years to finally fly its final flight. But I did get the shot I wanted to go in between the trees and reveal the cars below. As some of you know, Simba came out for a Bihoku rental day with the homies, and while we were at the shop, I asked him what Final Bout really meant to him and the significance of the event, especially as Final Bout is creeping up on its 10th year anniversary.
Final Bout is basically kind of something that looks at the roots of drifting. In my opinion, the original purpose of it, which was just a spectator sport and just kind of a big spectacle, Final Bout puts that together and takes that in, and, you know, both in terms of how cars look, both in terms of how people are driving, and then also the team aspect. From what I could tell, you know, drifting out as you started in the mountains, and a lot of people would be going out there with their friends, and, you know, it ended up becoming their teams. We look at old school teams, you know, the Tinkers of the world, and that's what we kind of wanted to look at, because we feel like drifting is something you should be doing with your friend. So that's just a big combination of it all. Throw it together in an event that brings in people from all over the world and then let them drive. You know, drifting in Japan started way before ours, so we've always looked up to these people. They're the people we've seen in magazines. They're the people that we've seen in option videos, Dory 10s or whatever. They, you know, it's kind of an almost a thank you, and not almost, it is a thank you to them because they're the ones that put this together for us. And so we wanted to bring them to us and be like, hey, this is what you guys built. So yes, of course, we've been doing a lot of the work, whatever, but you guys built this culture and we're just kind of carrying it on and carrying that torch. We were talking about earlier, but the first time I came to Japan was in 2007 because I worked at Tokyo Factory at the time, and Tokyo Factory was with Origin, so we went to go visit Michiro at Origin, and then we stopped by the Bai shop. His cars were there, specifically his Gold S13 is on 20s. It was fresh from the auto salon look, and I remember I have a picture of it, of me standing there staring at it, and at that time, if you told me that I'd be able to drive that car, two, be able to drift in with Bai in my own car next to him in tandem with him, wouldn't have believed it, but, you know, he's, you know, my personal hero, so something I had to do, so I was able to do it. car for 20 years. It has 20,000 miles on it, and like it's a pretty, you know, crazy clean car. Obviously, you guys have seen it. It's very immaculate, and hopefully it stays immaculate. If you are not good, please just don't fucking hit him for no fucking reason. Like, just don't be that guy, because then we will all shame the fuck out of you on the internet. Let's keep that in mind. They're old, so they're probably gonna be asleep by like 6 p.m. He is old. Oji-san. Oji-san. I just want to say thank you, man. Oh yeah. You guys are very welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, the favorites for the event were quite obvious right out of the gate. You had Pro Seat running some pretty consistent 4-car tandems, alongside Front Street on the competition side, also running some really clean 4-car tandems. Holy shit. With that considered though, it was not going to be easy for any of these teams to make it into top 4, as there are many other teams running consistently, showing off style, experience, and execution that was on its way to make for an interesting competition nonetheless. For me personally, I had my eye out on Good Feeling and Icy Boys, who were definitely on my list to make top 4 after seeing some really clean runs that were just as clean as the favorites of the event. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that there's 23 teams and about 100 drivers at this year's event, and with numbers like that, a surprise could come out of nowhere very quickly. Just like that, Open Drift would pass in a blink of an eye for people to get prepared for the competition ahead. And before we knew it, the drivers meeting was being called and everybody had to line up on track, not only to prepare for a set event, but also allow the spectators to roam around the track before the cars get properly destroyed. Finally, after so much waiting, so much preparation and suspense, we were finally well on our way to find out who will be victorious at Final Bout 6.
Welcome to Final Bout 6, Reach for the Summit. Story mode 6 op versus battle. Time to choose 1v1 battle or team versus battle. US Air competition layout. Track selected. Choose your judges for this year's contest. Sebastian Nebula, Hurt Eugene, PJ Prendergast, and lastly, here are our MCs for today's event. If at first you don't succeed, you can always try again. Oh man, are you ready for this? everyone for pushing yourselves to the limit in the heat of battle. However, only 4 teams are allowed to advance to the next round.
I gotta piss. I'll literally piss my pants.
Oh shit, you got a flag.
All for that arbitrary trophy. It's like...
Simba's not getting it. Somebody's going to get it. I don't know where they are. When it matters, he pulls through.
Hiroshi has it in front street. All right, they got the trophy, finally. In third place, Car Shop Hiroshi. We spent like 10 minutes with the judges. We got news that the cars We're going to need a bit of time to go again, so they had to make a decision. In second place, Front Street. And that means, for the first time ever, Toki wins Final Bout. That was tough.
Yeah! Finally. Took 10 years! Took fucking 10 years!
They had their jersey.
Yeah!
They have driven every single one.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
They have driven this track so many times.
I know, we need Ilya!
I
know.
Until now.
I know. My side.
Omedetou!
You're good luck, good luck. Thank you guys, seriously. Woo!
Give it up for Pro Steve! And Front Street, it's not over. You guys can still win the top 8 battle tomorrow.
みんなすごいこう合わせてお客さんにこう喜んでもらうっていうか、なんかほんまに昔のなんか山でねドリフトしてたノリがそのままこういいように育ったっていうか、進化して、すごい楽しかった。
Time to choose 1v1 battle. 1v1 battle. US Air reverse.
Although the top 4 teams of the team competition were now decided, it doesn't end there. Like Palmer said,
it's not over. You guys can still win the top 8 battle tomorrow.
You see, the special thing about the 1v1 battles are that the top 8 teams from the team 10 of competition select one driver to represent their entire squad. Then, adding to that, the winner of the competition battles against a special guest opponent to raise the stakes even a bit more. The ones who would end up fighting for those top 4 spots will be Tandem Knights, Good Feeling, So Icy Boys, and Garage Abstract. If you couldn't tell, out of the top 4 teams, only one of them made it in the final round of the 1v1 competition, which just so happened to be the winners from Final Bout 5. Now that we had our 4 teams, it was time to see who can have the best individual performance to bring a trophy back home for the boys. After the competition was all said and done, Garage Abstract would place 4th, the So Icy Boys would place 3rd, Tandemites at 2nd, and at 1st place, the one who would win it all would be Good Feeling, which means he would face off against the not-so-mystery driver, Bai. The battle between the two was fierce, but on the second lap, the Good Feeling S14 would leave its mark on history after Bai stalled a little bit on the backside of the course, leaving his mark in the door of Bai's 20-year-old golden machine.
ぶつけられてどう思いましたかって。
あ、全然もうドルとしてそのぶつけられるっていうのはどっちが悪いやん、お前悪いやんっていうのはそれは言ってはいけないっていうのはもうこの昔からもうそれはね走る以上みんなイーブン。止まっててわざとわかんねん。
わかるよ。ね、わかる。
その代わりひょっとしたら俺がスピンして当たるかもしれへん。その時は申し訳ないけどイーブンや。ね、だからそういう車同士で一緒に遊んでる、もう楽しい時、ハッピーな気持ちの時は当たってもお互い嫌な気持ちはさせないっていう気持ちで僕はずっとやってるから。
In the end, the traditional donuts of appreciation for one another had been thrown down after a great display of driving from the two, officially marking the end of the competition portion of Final Bout. With both drift competition days now officially over, there was only one more open drift session left for the weekend. The final session of the weekend gets pretty rowdy since that gotta keep that shit clean for the weekend mentality is traded for I need to drive with this dude and that guy before the weekend ends kind of mentality. Remember, this is one of those events that bring people from all over the USA, so this pretty much could be the first and last time a majority of these guys drive together. Then you have the unicorn drivers of Takatori and Bai on track, making every single lap with them on track a special one. With that said, it seemed like people were noticing their time was running out to conversate, hang out, or just joke with the Japanese drivers, even if they couldn't speak their native language. But the effort definitely didn't go unnoticed.
みんな優しかった。すごい。こっちが日本語が英語がわからないって分かってるから今度逆でプロシードの皆さんも頑張って日本語覚えてくれてた。だから一生懸命逆になんか向こうが気遣って一日おきに日本語覚えてくるから多分どっかでその夜に会話なっていろんな見てるんやろうね。でもそのいろんなチーム他のチームもこの携帯を持ってきてこの略して一生懸命向こうから喋ろうとしてくれたし。すごいだからほんまにねギスギスしてない、大会で負けてる勝ってる事故してる壊れてる人がいっぱいいてもそういうの全然関係なしでみんなこう喋ってくれるしフレンドリーにすごいアダムもうほんまにねすごいよくしてくれてもちろんシンバもそうやけどもなんか本当にありがとうございました。もう感謝です。感謝しかないです。でもほんまにいい思い出しかない。
あ、そうだね。
一つも正直ね嫌なことってなかった。
time no see, golden friend.
Ah, どういう気持ちなんか、ああ、帰ってきた。
おかえり。
まだアメリカの泥とか、Final Bout どんな感じでした？どういうイベント？
ファイナルバウトすごい楽しかった。
一回アメリカで走り行くかな。もし誰かタカトリ来てください。
すぐ行く。
I'll go right away.
至り尽くせりでね、そのパーティーとか開いてくれて、車もねああやってああいう感じで展示してくれたら自分の車もすごいよく見えるし、もうすごい自分にも思い出がいっぱい残った。また行きたいっていう気持ちがさっき前に出てるからぜひお願いします。10周年その周年記念、次はファイナルバウト7欲しくね、7、ちょっといつあるかわからないけど、ぜひオファーをあともちろんファイナルバウトも年々ああやってだんだんステップアップしてると思うんやけど、だから今回僕が見て始めた中ではちょっとすごかったっていうのがやっぱりこれはまだもう2本追いつかれてるねっていう。
And with those lasting words from Bai himself, we would all like to say at Thrash, thank you guys for watching this mini movie, long ass video, whatever you want to call it, of Final Bout 6. A lot of us, while we're at the event, never would have thought Final Bout would grow to the scale that it is now. You know, before it was just this niche community of drifters in the USA gathering for this team-oriented event, you know, really having friends like build hardcore relationships and driving and wanting to be in Final Bout over the last couple of years. It went from that small community now very clearly growing very internationally, you know, with the guys I talked to from Switzerland and such in Portugal. Some of us been there since Final Bout 1. My first one was Final Bout 2, and just that the mere scale that the event is now and the notoriety of the event that's gained over the last couple of years it's just nice to see people gathering for one event, because drifting is one of the most nonsensical things to do, especially when it comes to money. But like, you know, I think that's what brings us together, because all of us understand the struggle and the want to build something special and share it with not only the spectators but with your friends and anybody else who shares that same passion with you. And Final Bout encapsulates all of that. It allows not only just individuals but, you know, teams themselves to really show it off, and, you know, bring in all these, you know, amazing talents from Japan and OGs contributed to all of us getting in the sport is just really something special. Thank you guys for watching another video of Thrash, and we hope you guys really enjoyed this one.